HBs, you're here for Heaving Bosoms Ask a Badass, where we raise the voices of romance lovers. Make sure you tune in on Monday, December 9th, as Erin and I recap Netflix movie The Night Before Christmas. I am personally super excited for this sappy time travel story. And now, I am honored to introduce this week's Ask a Badass, Becci. She is a playlist wizard, a haiku thief who's generally snack obsessed, and a person everyone needs in their girl gang, because she's the cinnamon rolliest Hufflepuff until her loved ones need defending. Then she shifts into a rabid badger bent on total annihilation. So without further ado, Becci. Hey, Becci.
Hi.
Hello, listeners. If you're out there still, if you've made it through the last however many crazy-ass episodes that we've had, I'm here with Becci D. If you're in the cult, you know her. If you're on Romancelandia Twitter, you know her. If you're in the Minute Maid juice, frozen juice fruit box Twitter, you know her. She's everyone's favorite. Hi, Becci.
Hi, I am passionate about Minute Maid juice pops, so thank you for bringing that up. That's really important to me.
I went down a big rabbit hole after you posted about that, and I can't even buy them in my town in Illinois.
I swear, the only times that I am tweeting at people on Twitter, I'm tweeting at snack companies demanding that they give me snacks, or I am like tweeting at authors screaming at them that I love them.
Yeah.
Those are my two main things.
You're very active on Twitter. I am very not active on Twitter. And so then I'm always playing catch up.
But I think it's a lovely place. I think if you curate who you follow, it's a very lovely, safe place to be. You just have to kind of weed out all the things that you do not want popping up in your feed, because it can be quite nasty.
I was looking back at because I, of course, tweeted about this podcast after it got released. And I was like, if somebody wants to go through my Twitter, what are they going to see? And literally up until like a year ago, maybe, it was just me entering contests. Like that was that was it. There was never a personalized tweet. It was like, win these shoes, win this something. It was like it was winning books and then like TUK shoes, and that's it. And so I might have to bump up my tweets a little bit just
Which
to
is
have
funny
more
because
of a presence.
My Twitter, right from the very beginning, was like things that people had said to me or things that I had found funny. My son was eating raisins in the back of the truck one day, and my mom turns around, looks at it, and goes, "Raisins, just like shriveled dead bodies when you think about it." I just went,
I mean, Mom.
So yeah,
that's a
was
true
what it was.
statement.
But then I slowly morphed into literally just
Screaming at people.
Positive
and negative ways.
And then screaming at authors and snack companies.
Perfect. Oh, this is the Ask a Badass podcast, everybody. So
Professionalism.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not making any guarantees about anything ever. I'm just trying to get rid of mouth sounds, and I'm trying to limit the number of ums I say in one podcast to not drive people insane.
That's funny because before we started this, I was like, oh my, I did it. I said, don't say like, don't say like, don't say like a million times. I say that a lot.
Yes, me too.
But I listened to the one that you did with Melody. It was really good.
It's because she edited out most of the ums. So anyway, this is the Ask a Badass podcast where I just talk to my buddies about romance and about why they like romance.
We are buddies, real life buddies, not just internet buddies.
Yeah. Here, we'll just mention him right off the bat so we can get it out of the way.
Okay.
Becci's husband doesn't think we're real friends.
He said that once, and I got very offended.
I bet he regrets saying it at this point.
Every single thousands of persons in the Heaving Bosoms geriatric friendship cult, they are my friends, my real life friends.
100% yes.
And we've met in person, so that to me is real life friend.
Heck yeah, man.
How dare he?
So, Becci, how long have you been reading romance? For a long time, right?
Yeah, I have been reading romance. I think I probably started later than most people did. I started in high school. I think when I first started reading books by myself, I was super into like fantasy books, things like that. And so I was reading people like David Eddings, he does these grand sweeping like series of fantasy and magic. And I remember when I would be reading them, I would be thinking like, oh, I wish he would just focus on Polgara and Durnick. Why won't he focus more on the romance? And I would get really like skim, look for the romance part, and then just kind of read it and reread it looking for those romance things. And then in high school, we were on a school trip to Boston, and someone had brought their mom's copy of Nora Roberts. It was one of the McGregor books, but it was the one where it was the patriarch and the matriarch of the family, Anna and Daniel, I think their names were. And it was
You could tell me literally anything. I'm not sure I've read a Nora Roberts. Don't tell Bethany.
No, I won't.
Okay.
And it was set back in some kind of olden time, but like not too olden times, maybe like the 60s, don't know. But I remember
olden times in the 1960s.
To me, it's anything past 70s is somewhat of an olden time. I'm even worse than Erin in this.
Olden times is anything before 1970.
Well, there's like historical times, and then there's olden times, where things were just like a little bit shittier for everyone.
I'm thinking like pioneer times would be olden times in my brain.
Okay,
like
fair.
We don't have electricity, but okay, but yeah, olden times, 1960s. I'm with you. We're moving forward.
And I just remember reading it and being like, there is sex. These two people are having sex all over the book.
Yeah.
So I gave it back to my friend. I was like, thank you very much for this. And then my sister is about 12 years older than me. So I just remember being like, Tracy, you need to go to the grocery store.
It's
Those
important.
red and white romance books. I need you to buy me a bushel of them. And I just tore through those and just tore through them and kept reading ones like that all the way up until, I would say, same as a lot of people who seem to have read it, maternity leave.
Yes.
And then maternity leave is where, not that the other ones weren't quality, I'm not going to throw them under the bus and saying that, but the ones that I started reading when I was on maternity leave, and I think actually this coincided with like getting the Kindle and the Kobo app on my, like it just made it easier to consume.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I just remember I kept finding these books that I was like, oh shit, this is like, I'm not just reading this for the sex. I'm in love with these books, like absolutely in love with them. So that's kind of where it started and then where it got to in terms of my romance reading.
Yeah.
I love that yours was Judy Blume and you're like, there's girl on girl.
So this is the kind of kid that I was. I read a lot of Nancy Drew.
Oh, yeah.
And then there was like a Nancy Drew like high school or college.
Okay.
And like series that came out when it would have been like, I don't know, probably grade school. And my mom had bought it for me that was like, here, the next Nancy Drew. And I remember like bringing the book into wherever she was and being like, Mom, they kiss in this book.
Isn't there one where like, is it Bess?
Maybe.
Is her friend named Bess? Like Georgie?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Isn't there one where like Bess had sex?
I mean, like, I don't know.
In the university ones?
In the yes. Yeah. So I remember
I remember being like, Bess had sex?
Yes. So yeah, I remember bringing it to be my mom being like, I don't think I can read this.
Oh, you told on yourself?
Kissing. Yeah. Oh, I told on myself. Absolutely. And like surrendered the book. And then I don't know what changed between that and
Judy Blume.
Summer Sisters and being like, I'm not telling anybody.
You can pry this
about
from
this
my
shit.
cold dead hands.
This is our little secret, Judy. I won't tell if you won't tell.
Yeah.
And so I don't know what changed, but that was the kind of kid that I was to start with. And then, sorry, Judy Blume changed me. And then now it was only consuming romance after that. Well, not after,
Yeah, I'm the same at this point. Like, I only read romance. The off time, I will go off for a biography, maybe if it's someone that I really enjoy. But even general fiction that are on the bestsellers list, mysteries, anything like that. Like, no, it's all romance for me. Like, I need a happily ever after. I think there's so much shit going on in the world. When you read a book and you know the outcome, it takes away so much stress.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I don't remember who I was talking with that I was saying, even if there's like angst, and maybe it was even Mel, even if there's angst in it, I still know it's going to end well.
Yeah.
But even like sometimes with angst, I'm like, do I really have to do this? And no, I don't. And I just DNF it.
I'm actually a lot like you. I will DNF a book because I don't owe it anything.
Yeah, I really love, I've loved a few of the Sierra Simone books that I've read. And I was talking with Jenny about this, that the American, the one about the president.
Yes.
I read the second one, and I started reading the second one. I loved the first one. And even that was very emotionally stressful. And I started to read the second one and I was like, what the fuck, Sierra? How much more are you going to put me through? I'm sure at the end of it was too much. I was, what else is going to happen to these people? Like, come on. I couldn't do it. So I had to stop. And I loved it. I loved the writing. I mean, obviously the sex was great. Always. I loved everything about it, except it was just too much emotional turmoil. Yes, absolutely. And I mean, that's, it's just a different kind of style, or what, I don't even know if it's a genre. I don't really know what writing is. So I mean, you posted something on the Cult the other day about like not even knowing what
tense.
What tense or like
third person.
No, I couldn't even tell you.
I understand tense is like first person is like, I thought this to myself in my brain. But for me, when I'm reading a book, I don't go back and think,
I couldn't even tell you which one it's in.
I would have liked this book better if it had a different tense. I don't care if it's well written. I really don't care.
No, and someone was, oh yeah, that book switches tenses halfway through, and
I would never have noticed.
What?
Nope. That is not what I'm focusing on. I'm
here
like,
for you in solidarity about this. Like, I don't know. I don't know what words are. I just,
same with
point
of view. For me, point of view, if it's the woman or the man, or if it's woman, or if it's man, or if there's more than one, like, I don't care, whatever.
I like all of them, but I do like when there's a male point of view too, where I get kind of the both sides of the story. You know what I mean?
I'm just really ambivalent to it. If it's good writing, I truly don't care.
Oh, absolutely.
Because I feel like I'll find out what he's thinking through her, or if it's not heterosexual couple, through whoever the partner is.
Sometimes there's those books where I know that something's going on, and if you could see, and you don't want to, because the book would be over, or the book would have no point if you could see the point of view of the other person. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's something that I liked a lot in The Hating Game, is that you never really got into Josh's brain. So you knew what Lucy was thinking the entire time, and how
so you didn't know what he
was, feelings were about him.
Yeah, and you didn't know what his plan was at the end. Yeah, like, you knew something was going to work out. Like, you knew it, but you didn't know how it could work out. But it does, obviously. Spoiler alert: it works out in that book.
Spoiler
alert! It is in fact a romance, and they have a happy ending.
Someone's reading it like, well, what the fuck? I'm done with this book.
Shit, this works out? Are you kidding me? So that's how you got to be the consumer of romance that you are now. And then how did you find Heaving Bosoms?
I would say like 60% of the people who initially found Heaving Bosoms, I was in the Shark group. Penny reads.
Me also, yes.
Shark group. So I was in that group, and I liked a lot of her books. And then she put out like, hey, there's this episode about Love Hacked. I was like, great. Love Hacked.
Yeah.
I love Alex. This is going to be a great one to listen to. And I listened to it, and I disagreed because I didn't care that Alex was problematic. To me, that wasn't a big deal. And then when I looked at the comments of people commenting on it, like, what the fuck? Alex is the best. He's my baby. Don't do this. I didn't understand it, because to me, I'm like, no one understands that the most important thing that has ever been said on a podcast is, where is Tonku? And that was the episode. That was the episode where it was Erin that got drunk, right? Or was it Melody?
Yes, it was Erin.
So it was Erin that got drunk and put into Google, where is Tonku? And I was so upset that no one else wanted to talk about that. I thought, okay,
you're
great,
missing
like
the
Alex.
point, crazy
Where
people.
Is Tonku? Right now,
I like that you brought it back up.
She does not want me to find Tonku, but
No.
I will find Tonku. No one else look for him because I feel like that could be a real issue. But just, I feel like in my heart.
He somehow has like a Google alert set up so that anyone who searches his name, he gets notified.
Yeah, hashtag don't try to find Tonku. But that to me was where I became a full-on heaving bosom fan. I was just like, yeah, I get it. Like, they had some issues with the book. That wasn't a big deal for me. People have different tastes. People have different mindsets. Like, Erin is very into Law and Order. I don't care.
Yeah.
But just... It was,
I know it's
honestly,
fiction.
Tonku drew me in, and I am never getting out.
So yeah, as I said this when I talked with Mel, I started listening to, the pod, and I was like, they're still talking about shit that's not this book. Are you kidding me?
Which is what I loved.
Yeah.
I loved it.
And that's what I mean, I definitely love that. Now, obviously, I like hearing their take on the books, not some books, because obviously I like that. Now I get a big kick out of the banter and stuff like that. And at the time I was like, fuck this. And then I went back and re-listened, and everything was fine, and I was completely
right after that episode, I went back and listened to every single one of them. Yeah. And I think I was pretty early on in the cult, because I remember, I think it was in another Penny Read one, weirdly. Wasn't it in Cletus's story when they started talking about joining it? So I think I immediately was like, yes, please.
I'll comment on something. I'm also in the Mariana Zapata group because Let's Review, big fan.
Okay, so can we just, for 1 second, so you enjoyed the Locke book.
Yeah.
I won't judge you.
You can judge me.
Look, I liked The Wall of Winnipeg and Me.
Yeah.
I liked it. I usually start almost halfway through the book. If I'm rereading it, I'll start when they just get married and read from there. Yeah. But I liked it, and I don't care. I like quinoa. I like puzzles.
Yeah, I fucking love a puzzle. Exactly. I don't know what I think for me on a lot of Zapata books, it's like the voice is very different from other. I don't know if it's like the sarcasm or what it is that I really attach to, but there is a lot of repetitive dialogue in all of them.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
That. Yeah.
Where you're like, hey, you've already covered that topic about how you can't forgive this guy. I don't need you to write about it again. You can still feel that way in your brain. I don't need you to write me another paragraph about it. So, and the Underlock book is very similar, where you're like, okay, get over it already. You have moved on. But I really like the sex in that book. There was more sex in that book than there was in like a lot of the other ones.
Because I remember reading the Locke book, being like, well, this guy's an asshole, but the sex scenes are all right, so I'll keep reading.
I mean, he's got a pierced dick, so, it's like, I'm sure that was maybe part of the intrigue. Love? Yeah, I mean, really.
He might treat her like dirt sometimes.
Maybe most of the time, even,
But that dick's pierced.
Yeah, so there's a lot to forgive. I did not, now, so I've never requested like a 5-star book, because really I'm just kind of along for the ride.
I haven't either.
And
we have a lot of similarities. Yes, I've given my 5-star review, but I feel like I should just offer it up to them. Like, do whatever you want.
Exactly. So, but here's also part of the problem, because I found myself when I was listening to the Wall of Winnipeg book, because that's probably one of my favorite books. Yeah. Being like, no, but, and you're just not, and I can't, if I had requested a book and
what if they hate it?
If they hated it, I would have had a hard time. And so I'm just not gonna even delve into those waters, and I'm just gonna enjoy the ride. And if I liked a book that they didn't like, then okay, that's fine. But then I don't have any personal attachment.
If I do ever request one, it's gonna be something that I know is short, because I don't want to give them a lot of volume, but that they will hate. Like, I would find something that has people in minion costumes and masquerade masks making love, and that would be a book.
You just need to send an email to Chuck Tingle, because he already is probably writing that.
Because I feel like if you combine the term making love, which Melody hates, and then minions with masquerade masks, which Erin hates, it would be... I need to Google it. I need to do some Google work.
There's some sort of the minion makes me horny or something like that. That's out there in the world. It is out there. I'm know it
Google
is.
It later.
If not, it's on. There's some sort of fanfic website, fanfic.net, fanfiction.net, something like that. I just learned about it. Ancy, you need to ask Ancy. She knows.
I did not read fanfic for a very long time.
I didn't even know it existed.
Someone in the cult shared a Kylo Ren and Rey fanfic, and I lost my shit. It's 69 chapters. it's worth it.
I guess, so the only fanfic I've ever read is the one that's actually now going to be published on the Smarty Pants network, or network, whatever it's called.
Mm-hmm.
It's the one about Steven from
Stella
the knitting
Weaver.
in the, yes, the knitting in the series,
Yes.
sitting series.
So
Knitting
I actually
in the
read
City
that when it was fanfic.
Yes, me too.
And I think I actually or not MSN Messenger. Oh, that's aging myself. I Facebook Messengered.
AIM. You were using AIM, weren't you?
It was MSN Messenger. I messaged the author, and I freaked out on her.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, this is the best thing I've ever read.
It was so good.
This needs to be a book. You need to write this. And I'm so glad that Penny Reed opened it up and allowed her to be published like that. Not that she wouldn't have been published on her own, because she's an amazing author. But it's Dr. Ken and Steven, right? And I just... It was so well written. It was
awesome.
It was the
right amount of like emotional turmoil too. You know what I mean? Like it just it never delved too deeply or got too real, because sometimes that's the hard thing for me is I just get really torn up if things are too real.
With angst?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, like I can't read like anything with kids, like bad kid stuff anymore.
Oh,
like
no,
I just
can't
have
either.
nightmares.
I had to stop watching Criminal Minds because I had to stop
watching Vikings. I had to stop watching
Interesting.
Walking Dead.
Yes.
I've had to stop watching a lot of things because if there's kids in danger or anyway, Stella Weaver's book, which I can't remember. Sticking to the Script? No.
Sticking to the Script sounds right.
Did I pull that out of somewhere? Holy shitballs.
Yeah, you did.
So that one I really loved it. It was the perfect amount of everything.
I agree.
Good. Everyone should go. It's probably by the time this is...
It's out on Amazon right now.
Is it out on Amazon?
I know this because I went to buy it on Kobo and was denied. But yes, it is on Amazon and it is a delight.
Does everyone in your life know that you read romance? Like, is it
if I'm going to be honest, there's places where I don't talk about it as much because judgment.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have found that lately I have gotten way better at just being really proud of the fact that I like these books because these books are amazing. So if I'm on a regular group and someone asks for a book recommendation, I'll just be like, you know what? Read The Hating Game by Sally Thorne. Read Rafe by Rebecca Weatherspoon. Are you a woman who is very professional and has kids and is dead tired of her life? Read Rafe by Rebecca Weatherspoon. Yeah. And it will be a balm to your soul. Yes. Unless you have a shit partner, and then you will feel awful. But still, and even I remember I was out once with some moms from my kids' school, and we were having a dinner talking about a fundraiser, and they were asking
that was the most mom
reading.
Sentence I've ever heard in my whole life. And I can say that because I have said that sentence before.
And I remember they asked me what I was reading, and I just went, you know what? Fuck it. I said, I am reading a book about a bear shifter and a bunny shifter. The bunny shifter transforms into a saber-toothed bunny because she's a prehistoric powerful bunny, so she's even more powerful than the bear. They fuck. It's great. And the moms just kind of went
open mouth, just
silent, and they're like,
is she serious?
Know, you read that kind of book. I was like, yeah, I do
bear on bunny, get over it.
And my family is super aware of what I'm reading. I know one time my husband was asking if it made sense for him to buy a katana sword. And it didn't. So I was just no.
The answer is always no. To any human being that's not a samurai.
No. And
the answer is always no.
No, you don't need a samurai sword. I don't care to co-sign on this. But then my son turns around, just looks at me and goes, why? You going to spend all your money on werewolf novels? And I just thought, oh, you burned me. And yes, that is what I spend my money on.
I have already spent your katana sword money on werewolf novels. Okay, that's why you can't buy one.
Yeah. It's worth its weight in bear shifter novels.
Exactly. Except they're digital probably, so they don't weigh anything. Shit.
Fair. But no, I have been a lot better at just being you know what, this is what I like. If you think less of it, then you are an idiot. And I don't have time to walk you through the fact that it's a source of empowerment. It's a source of income for a lot of women and people of color, and LGBTQ authors are really finally getting the recognition they deserve in mainstream. So fuck it. It's amazing.
Yes. Yeah, it's definitely been like that way for me. Now, I don't necessarily, I'm not connected with the people that I work with enough to really care what they,
Same.
you know what I mean? I'm like, I'm not talking to you about what I'm reading because I don't care
Well,
about
at work,
you.
I am a
But
supply teacher, so I'm in
yeah.
and out of different schools.
Hmm.
So there's never a time where I'm going to be like, ooh, what are you reading? This is what I'm reading.
Yeah. For those of you in countries that aren't Canada, that is a substitute teacher. Took me a
Oh,
very long time
yes, I am Canadian,
to
and it is
learn
a
that.
supply teacher.
Yes, I don't really care about my coworkers enough to really tell them about what I'm reading, but I did talk the other day because I was kind of having like a lot of excited anxiety about the podcast releasing, and I was like, guys, guess what? My podcast is releasing today. And then of course they ask like what it's about, and I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
just talking to my friends about romance because all I read is romance, you guys. And they're like, oh, okay. And then it was a lot of like looking at each other, making eye contact, and
If
then being
only they
like,
knew
yes,
how
I know.
amazing it is.
Yeah. Well, now they'll know that I also don't care about them if they start listening. So it's like a bunch of surprises
I
that they
really
could
hope they're
find
not
out.
listening. My coworkers
No,
that I hate, by the way,
I don't hate them. I just
good to put that on record.
their opinions
Natalie does not hate you, coworkers.
their opinions just don't matter to
She
me.
is ambivalent towards you.
Accurate. That's pretty accurate. I made one homemade throat coat the other day because she's a tour guide, and
What's that?
throat coat. It's not semen. It is tea, usually decaffeinated tea. A lot of times it's jasmine tea. This was whatever I found. It was green tea, maybe? No, chamomile. And honey and lemon and hot water, obviously, to make tea. And you mix it all together, and it like coats your throat when you have a sore throat.
I'm just going to jump in there to say I was literally picturing that you had somehow knit a coat that fits around someone's neck.
That's just a turtleneck, Becky.
No, but like with buttons. I thought for some reason that you had knitted a throat coat.
Yes.
Got it. It's a tea.
It's a drink. It's a hot beverage, and it helps you. I thought you were going to go semen with throat coat.
No, I literally thought it was a literal throat coat.
Yeah, let me just whip you up a throat coat for your cold neck.
All your coworkers in the winter going around in their throat coats.
They're just wearing a t-shirt, but then they've got like a knitted
To protect.
Yeah. I mean, that wind though in Illinois.
It'll get you.
Yeah, it will get you. Sorry, that mental image. So anyway, I made her that. And so I care about her enough to Google things on the internet and make them for her. So
I just feel like you're that way with everyone, though. I feel like you're always finding ways to make people feel special and give them things that coat their throat.
Sometimes it's one of those things where I'm like, if I know something that could help you, I'm going to do it, or I'm going to tell you about it.
You're a true Hufflepuff.
Yeah, it's sometimes it's like a curse though. That's not a humble brag. It's more like sometimes I wish I could just not care. You know what I mean? Because
I don't think that's a humble brag. I think one of the main drawbacks of being a Hufflepuff is not that you are desperate for people to like you, but you want to be liked and you want to be useful.
Yeah.
So you want to do things for people that they need done and show you care.
Yeah.
But it also can be a bit of a drain.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, it comes a lot with like people pleasing too, where you're like, I know that I can do this thing that will make you happy. But a lot of times it's like at great personal sacrifice to like my time or my energy or my emotional strain or whatever. And I know that about myself. And I'm definitely better at saying no to things or not volunteering. I didn't.
To the woman who volunteered to be the mod of the cult, to the woman who is now running a podcast and planning KissCon events for the cult.
So someone was telling, I was talking to my husband about self-care, because when I was doing internet therapy, they were like, you need to be doing self-care. You need to do it. And I was like, but I hate it. Like, I hate it. And I get way more joy out of spending my time doing stuff like this than going and getting a massage, or because I just it's stressful for me to spend the money. It's stressful for me to spend the time away. And
the podcast is something that can be self-care for you because it is a creative outlet.
It brings me joy. So Joe was like, well, maybe you could find a self-care that doesn't like require so much time and effort. And hey, I don't make the rules. All right. I just follow them. I don't know where we're at in the questionnaire. I got lost.
I feel like I know.
Do you know? Great.
I feel like maybe we're at romance in my life.
Yeah.
Where do you find romance in your life?
Yeah. How do you find it in your life? What are you doing? Are you actively pursuing it? What's happening?
Okay, so I do feel like I am someone who sees romance everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll read probably like, I consume a lot of books like you. I think probably like 2 to 3 a week.
Yeah.
I will read romance books. But I am the type of person for romance that, let's say that I am stopped at a red light. Mm-hmm. And I look across and the person on the opposite side of the street is also stopped and has made direct eye contact with
mm-hmm.
me. I'm
You're
like,
now dating them.
We're in love. I'm going to have to divorce my husband. Sorry, Scott, you're gone. I'm going to have to get out of my car and marry this person.
We have to find I have to somehow communicate that we need to find matching parking places and sort out all these details.
We've made eye contact. They're in love with me. Yeah. That's what it is.
Yes.
And then if I'm in the break room at work and I see 2 people chatting, it's just, they're in love. It's a secret affair. I know it. It's happening. If I see a dog walker and the baker has put out a little dog bowl, I'm like, well, this is a romance waiting to happen.
That's a meet cute waiting to happen right there. Yeah. Absolutely it is.
Any interaction with any people, I will elaborate a backstory as to why they are having some kind of romance going on in their life.
Thank you. You have made me feel less alone.
Okay, good. You do that too?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, good.
Any person on the street that we make eye contact, I'm like, huh.
Well, we're in love now.
Yeah.
We're going to be fucking.
Or like somebody will talk about these 2 people, like, and I've said this out loud before, like someone will be like, yeah, this person ran into this person, like they got in a fender bender. No, Fender Mender is a company around here. So sometimes I mix up the words in my mind and like, did I say the right one this time? Shit. Okay. Anyway. And I'm like, okay, did they date afterwards? Or like, are they still talking? No, Natalie, they just submitted it to their insurance and didn't do any, like, that's not how the real world happens. Like, I'll elaborate. I'm not going to say names because they would be so mad at me. One person was telling me about, it's a professional relationship. Like they've hired this person to do something for them. In my mind, I'm like, but they're secretly dating.
Yes.
And
this is where romance novels will take you.
They just haven't told me and they don't know how to tell me. So I got to be cool and not like pressure them to tell me about it. It's because they're not dating, Natalie. That's why they haven't told you.
Yes.
It's because it hasn't happened yet.
Not everything is a
or
romance
it won't
novel.
happen. Yeah.
And then I would say in my personal life, I'm not someone who enjoys like a grand sweeping romantic gesture. I don't enjoy like a wine and dine flowers. That's not really my thing. But definitely there's little things that will make me swoon. For example, Scott, who is my husband, he knows that for Cool Ranch Doritos, I like the heaviest flavored Doritos that you could possibly get. So if he's making me a bowl of Doritos, he will pick out the ones that have the most flavoring and then put them in the bowl for me. And that, to me, is the most romantic
I just
thing.
kind of am blown away that he's putting the Doritos in a bowl and not just like bringing you the bag of Doritos. Like that's romantic in itself.
Well, I like to control how much Doritos I'm eating or else the bag is gone.
I understand that. I mean, that's all the portion control websites say that. Don't eat out of the bag, eat out of the dish.
It's not even portion control. For me, it's particularly before I had kids, like breakfast for me would be a can of Coke and a bag of Cool Ranch Doritos because that's what's delicious.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
When you're a parent or when you're not a parent, you can just give in to your impulses all the time because there's not little shitheads watching your every move. You know
I don't
what I mean?
regret it at all. I love those Doritos.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. I'm not. Are you talking about your kids as Doritos?
Oh, no, I'm talking about the actual Doritos.
Oh, okay, good. I wouldn't have regretted that either.
For the record, I also don't regret my children. Okay. I love them.
I thought you were saying, like, I don't regret sacrificing my Doritos that I have for breakfast so that I could have kids. I was confused.
Because, like, these fucking kids are taking away my ability to have a lot of Doritos. I'm a monster.
Do you have any other lady loves?
I think I have two lady loves that I live by for myself. And they do fall somewhat under self-care, but my first lady love is just say no. So
like in DARE, did you guys have DARE in Canada? That was the drug awareness program, and that was there. We did
have DARE, and
just say no.
I mean, say yes to drugs if you need them and they're legal. I'm not going to judge anyway.
Yeah.
But no, like say no. If you don't want to go to a party, just say no. You don't have to give a reason. If there's an extra project that people are asking you to take on, no. If you don't want to go to a family event because it's awful for you, just say no. You don't have to give people a big convoluted reason. You don't have to say yes to things. So that is one of my huge things that I started doing lately over the past couple of years, is just saying no. If I don't want to do something, within reason. I'm not going to miss my kid's birthday because I don't feel like going.
Yeah.
But just say no if you don't want to do things.
I'm just picturing your kids being like, but we're going to Chuck E. Cheese for my birthday. And you're like, sorry, I'm busy. I really don't want to, so goodbye.
Love Island is on 6 days a week, kids. I've got a schedule
How
to
do
maintain.
I even fit you in?
Exactly. No, it's just say no. And then my only other lady love is just to carve out time for yourself at the end of every day. I feel like sometimes if you're busy, particularly if you have kids, but it's not even just if you have kids. It's when my kids go to sleep, I carve out that time for myself and I do whatever the fuck I want. So if I want to read for 4 hours and stay up till 2 a.m, I will do it. You don't have to stay up that late. It's just a suggestion. But yeah, I like to carve out time for myself at the end of every day. Those are my two lady loves.
I think that I may have confessed to you before that what I do sometimes, which is drink coffee later on in the day so that
keep you awake?
So that it'll keep me awake so that I can sit and read by myself in the quiet.
No, especially I don't use it as an excuse. If I'm going to stay up, I'm going to stay up.
Well, no, like
sometimes keep yourself awake
so that I will stay up. You know what I mean? Because
I like your style.
sometimes I'll fall asleep, but if I'm reading something and I'm like, I'm not going to have any other time coming up, during the day or whatever, where I'm going to be able to finish this book that I want to finish, I'm going to drink this coffee or whatever it is late. Like, I mean, I'm not saying like I'm starting a cup of coffee at midnight. I'm saying like 7 p.m. That is late to drink coffee for me.
It is. For any human body.
Yeah. I mean, my husband can drink coffee like right up until he goes to bed and still fall. Yes, absolutely. I'm not sure what's happening inside of his body systems, but he can absolutely do that.
He's got a bionic body.
Something. Brain. I don't know. Maybe he's just that good at sleeping. But I think those are both great lady loves. I have been trying to say no more often.
I'm telling you, once you start doing it,
is it like addictive?
Euphoric. So one thing that I did recently, there was a principal at a school and they were kind of shady, and that I went in for one job and they were like, oh no, it's this other job. And it was a teacher who would like on stress leave and her class was all over the place. And so he kind of tricked me into it and I felt a little annoyed. And then he came in at the end of the day and he was just kind of pressuring me into coming back the next day because no one wanted to cover that class. And I just like looked at him dead in the eyes and I was like, no, I don't want to do that. Yeah. And he just froze because I don't think people say that a lot. Just no, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
It feels so powerful to say it to someone.
Hey, are you ready for the lightning round?
Born ready.
Okay. Great. I think I know the answer to this one. Are you an Erin or a Melody?
Okay, so the thing is, I promise the rest will be lightning round. But I am a less productive Erin, but with Melody's lack of filter.
Okay.
So that's where I am. Like, I am more Erin, like, in I am cut and dry, and I like what I like, and don't fuck around.
Yeah.
But Melody's kind of lack of filter and, like, willing to share stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm no way productive as Erin. Like, if I could work a half day a week, I would.
But Becky, your worth is based on your productivity.
My worth is not based off my productivity. My worth is defined from within. Erin will love that.
Yeah. I think I know this one also because I think we've already talked about it. What's your Hogwarts house?
I am actually a Hufflepuff.
I think we talked a little bit before we started recording though, but like with like a Slytherin.
I think I might have a little bit of Slytherin in my heart, but every time I take any kind of test, any kind of way, find your Harry Potter house, it's always Hufflepuff. And I even took something that was break down what percentage of each you are. Yeah. And it was 80% Hufflepuff and then the rest like slivers of everything else. Yeah. So I think I run pretty true Hufflepuff.
Oh, this is a good one. This was a recent add to the list of questions. What advice would you give your younger self?
I think that I was pretty boy crazy. And so advice that I would give myself is do not change the things you like to suit a boy.
Yes.
So I would find out that a boy was into something, and I would try to work it into the conversation that I was really into that.
We are the same person.
That is something I really, really regret doing. So to my younger self, I would say, enjoy what you enjoy, like what you like, and find a person that will come around and be cool with that.
Yeah.
So that would be my advice to my younger self.
I definitely did the same thing. I don't think it's like just a you thing. Like
you just want to fit in and be liked.
Yeah. You want to come up with it's a people pleasing thing, or it's whatever. It's you.
Hufflepuff.
Yeah. It's wanting people to like you.
Yep.
It's wanting to have something easy to talk about. And you know that you could come up with this easy thing to talk about. I did so many weird things like that.
Yes.
Like changing the music I listen to.
Yes.
And I think, like even in my current relationship, I think I did that a little bit. You know what I mean? Like towards the beginning. But, it's just, it's interesting. Like,
well, I met Scott at 19. So I was still technically a teenager when we met. And I had this clear moment of just being like, no, I'm going to like what I like. He is going to either like it or not like it. I'm going to be who I am, and he's going to like it or not like it. And he liked it.
Good.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't? Did you guys date for a long time before you got married, or?
I'm really bad with dates and knowing time. So we got together at 19. And we dated for a bit. We got married, I think, young. I think I got married at 24.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's probably how old I was.
And then I had Reed, my first kid, at 27. We've been together for about 17 years now. So
yeah,
it's a blur.
Yeah, I can imagine. I think that timeline is, I didn't meet Joe at 19. I met him at 22, but yeah.
Young.
Yeah. I already know the answer to this one, but other people may not. Bath meal or no bath meal?
Always bath meal.
What is your record for longest bath?
You know what? It's bad. It's so bad. 5 hours. I'm not joking. If I go in there and I've got bath product, unlimited hot water, drinks, food, and a book.
Bye.
Multiple books if it's going to be 5 hours.
Yeah.
I can stay in that bath forevermore. I just float around like a happy little tea bag. Yeah. 5 hours, honestly. And I don't regret it. Well, you were saying like 10 minutes in and out. You don't like sitting in like body skin.
Yeah. It's and sometimes for me it's more like I'll read a couple chapters, but then I think there's a lot of thoughts. I have a hard time quieting my brain, but I'm like, I'm gonna drop my Kindle in here.
Right.
Am I actually clean? I don't know. Does that there's a little bit of that. Now I did take an Epsom salt bath the other day, and I think it was like 20 minutes.
There you go. I think I have an inflated sense of how clean I am. So I think I get in that bath and I just think I am the cleanest person ever, and I am sitting in crystal clear water right now. There is no particles.
Yep.
So I kind of
don't let me
fine.
I don't need to try to be like, no, I'm not anti-bath at all. I just can't do it for me.
Thank you in 2019 for coming out as not anti-bath.
Yeah.
We needed that.
Yeah.
Us
anytime.
Bathers.
I mean, technically I still bathe. I just do it in shower form. I think I like bather. And then you could call him anti-bather. And I feel like that has a nice ring to it. But yeah, I just have a hard time sitting still is mainly my issue.
Fair.
Which is weird for someone who reads a lot. And I don't read on the go, but I don't know. Who knows? I contain multitudes. That's like the tagline of this whole podcast. Natalie contains multitudes. We'll find out what they are. There. I'm going to go in a series of book questions.
Okay.
I have 3 of them. And then I have one final question after that. So 4 total.
Okay.
Who knows how long it'll be. What is your favorite trope?
Okay. Hufflepuff, Slytherin.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
Have we discussed, is this like a hating game? Josh is a Slytherin, Lucy is a Hufflepuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would label that for sure. I just like a grump. And it doesn't have to be the man if it's a man and woman in a book. But I like a grump. And then like an eccentric, bubbly person who this grump just falls in love with and wants to protect from the world.
So I would love that with the grump being the female person. Well,
yes.
Or,
so often it's just the man that's the grump if it's a man-woman story.
Yes, exactly. I would love that book. If it's out there, listener, tell me what it is and I want to read it.
Actually, I think there is. So,
do you know what it is?
Yes, it's by Katie Robert.
Okay.
And it's Something the Bridesmaid.
Okay. I could figure that out.
She is a Slytherin and he is a Hufflepuff to the core.
I would love. Okay.
Her name's Regan in the story and his name is something.
Is this one of the is that
it's like a Wedding Dare series.
Is it the one with the crime family?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, it's Something Seducing the Bridesmaid, Something the Bridesmaid by Katie Robert. She is a true Slytherin, but she has a soft heart.
Great.
And he is a Hufflepuff.
Amazing. I'm going to look it up.
Mm-hmm.
Who's your go-to author?
Do I have to pick one? Can I pick 3?
Sure.
Give me 3.
I don't care.
Okay,
There's no rules here.
Talia Hibbert.
Yes, I knew
could
that.
Basically tell me to shave my head, and I would just be like, yep, we're all going to have shaved heads now. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I will do anything for Talia Hibbert. Mm-hmm. Every single book that I've read of hers, it just blows me away. Like Paranormal, Taming the Huntress, amazing. Any one of her contemporary books are amazing to me. Her voice, the way she writes, I could talk about her for hours. And then Rebecca Weatherspoon, who I found through the book Wraith. Mm-hmm. I love her. I love everything she writes. And
she did Haven and Sanctuary, and both
she
of those
writes
were
real
awesome
people.
too.
Like these people, when you're reading them, seem okay. That could be an actual real person.
Yeah, exactly. You have a good reference point for who that person is, or you know what I mean.
Yeah. And then my last one would be Rebel Carter, particularly her Gold Sky series. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Those Gold Sky books are
I haven't read his book yet. I haven't.
No. You have to.
I do. I know I do.
And they're beautiful. Do you know how far I took my love of her?
I do know, actually. I think I know. Tell me.
Is it that I made a fan club?
Yes.
On Facebook?
Yes.
It's called Rebels.
I'm in it.
You are?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I made a fan club called Rebels. Mm-hmm. And you're all welcome to join if you love Rebel Carter, because I do.
Do you give insider info? Because I would love some insider info on like book releases or...
If I did have insider information, I would never share it without author permission.
Well, yeah, obviously. I wasn't looking for like secret stuff. I was looking for like author. I want to say author authorized, but that sounds really weird.
I would 100% hope to put that in the fan club if we ever got access to it.
Great, like little snippets of future books and stuff like that. Anyway. Okay, I have one more book question. You ready?
Yes.
What is your problematic fave?
In books?
Yeah.
Okay,
I mean, wait, do you have one that's not in books?
Well, just like my problematic fave is someone like Logan from Veronica Mars or like Kylo Ren from Star Wars. So someone who... Insert a
reaction where Natalie knows what those characters do, but...
But yeah, like...
Yeah. No, I've heard that
in books,
well, Logan particularly is...
Well, in books, it would be like an alpha hole. Mm-hmm. So not a lot of people enjoy that. I do. Mm-hmm. Particularly if it's a shifter.
Yeah.
So not someone who's abusive, but someone who is a bit of an asshole.
Yeah, like...
I'm like, interesting.
We'll like freeze someone out for a couple of days or something like that kind of situation?
No, just more so someone who is... take charge to the point where they're being overbearing.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, ooh, interesting. In real life, I would not put up with that shit.
Yeah.
But when it's a bear shifter who's really grumbly, all of a sudden I'm like, interesting.
Huh. Well, he's so dimensional, this character.
I don't mind it.
Okay. Are you ready?
Yes.
If you could dispense one condiment from your belly button, what would it be?
How is this even an issue, though, for people? It's ketchup.
It is ketchup,
if anyone
right?
else has an answer other than ketchup, I have questions for them.
Okay. I can't wait.
Who said not ketchup?
Everybody. I'm the only one that has said ketchup.
Anyone who's going on about some kind of Dijon fucking mustard or some balsamic vinaigrette, no, ketchup is the most useful thing to come out of your belly button. First of all, well, people might not want it if it comes out of your belly button. I don't care. It's useful. Mm-hmm. French fries.
Yeah.
Cheeseburgers.
Sure.
Hot dogs.
Yes.
All the things. It's the most useful condiment, and it's so ridiculous to me that anyone would say anything but ketchup.
I think that you might need to message Blair and ask her what her...
What did she say? Was it
I'm not going
garlic
to tell
aioli?
you. It was not garlic aioli. I can't wait.
No, anyone that says anything other than ketchup is a liar, especially if they have kids. Ketchup is the most useful condiment.
So my kids will not eat ketchup.
What?
And I love ketchup. Like, I put ketchup on everything.
Okay.
Not everything, but a lot of things.
Oh,
like,
I
I'm not
have
eating.
beat. My daughter Laurel will dip her cucumbers in ketchup.
Nice going, Laurel. Great choice.
I have something that might shock and offend people.
Okay.
When I was growing up, the only thing that I would eat on my spaghetti was ketchup.
It's basically close to tomato sauce,
this
right?
really, really, really good friend next door, and her family was Italian, and they canned their own sauce. Like, they did it all.
Oh,
and
no.
I remember I went over for pasta, and they put the red sauce on it, and I asked for ketchup, and it looked like I had murdered her.
I feel like, have you seen the movie Elf where he's like, okay, do you have any maple syrup?
Yes.
And it's spaghetti. Yeah, like, I know people who put it on steak and stuff.
I mean, I've done it.
Yeah, me too. Is
I
it
love
dry?
ketchup.
Then ketchup will work. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm
You and I are
highly
together in
questioning
this.
anyone that says not ketchup.
I can't wait for you to hear Bethany's answer also.
Oh, what was it?
I can't tell you. It's a secret.
Oh,
I'll tell you off air.
Okay, because I need to know this.
I'll give you the tea. I just learned what that was the other day.
Oh, terms with Natalie. I find supplying for older grades, I know all the terms.
Oh, I'm sure you do. I tried to use standing in a sentence the other day and I felt real
Did you get
bad.
it?
I mean, I think I used it correctly, but
Yeah.
I just
You always feel weird as an older person.
It felt like
trying
my
to
mouth
use
was
cool terms.
yeah, like my mouth was moving the wrong way.
Yeah, I try not to say eat.
Here's a story. I was doing a 3-on-3 basketball tournament for teenagers, and it was like
Wait,
my
were you
body.
reffing or were you in it?
I was facilitating it, so
Okay.
like I did not ref it. I was like giving the rules, and it's like my mouth was like, "No, be cool, and I used the term "sick" 2 times. So I
love you so
immediately,
much.
I immediately lost all credibility.
I love you so much. Sick. Oh, that makes me so happy.
Yeah. So anyway, that's how cool I am. I think that's all my questions. But thank you for doing this with me.
Thank you for starting this.
I have loved it.
I can't wait to hear everyone's episodes. I'm really excited.
I knew people were going to be supportive because that's just the kind of place that it is. You know what I mean? Like, it could have been like a steaming pile of turds and people still would have been like, but great effort though.
Best steaming pile of turd ever.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Nailed
it smells awful. Great job. But it's amazing that people have like supported it and just embraced it and wanted to be a part of it. But if you're listening out there still and you would like to be interviewed, you can send me an email to askabadasspod@gmail.com. I will send you a questionnaire. You can fill that out and we'll schedule a time, and who knows when it'll be at this point. But
if anyone's on the fence about it, I will say Natalie makes it very painless. She gives you the questions ahead of time. So if you're someone who feels nervous, she's not just throwing the questions at you. It's really, really seamless, and she does a really, really good job at making you feel comfortable.
I just like talking, so it's like
Accurate.
It's the best. It's the best way to talk to your friends.
I like it.
Good. So yeah, you can send me an email or you can hit me up at the cult. I'm Natalie M-M, and we'll talk to you soon. So Becky,
Yes.
keep being a badass.
Ooh, okay.
And love yourself as much as you love heaving bosoms.
Oh, I love myself so much then.
Bye.
Bye. Love you.
Hey, you. Yes, listener, you. Are you loving the show? If so, please leave a rating and review in your podcast app. The 90 seconds you take to say something nice not only helps new people find the show, but it makes me super smile over at HBHQ. Also, I've had a few people ask, and the answer is yes. We are still doing the 5-star bribe. If you leave us a review with 5 stars, then we'll do whatever book you want. We're real deep into the list, though, so it might be a while. Ah! Lilas! Okay, back to the show.